Welcome back, guys, man. Jackpot DFS coming out with a Thanksgiving video. Hope you guys have had a great week, man. We all have that great holiday of Thanksgiving to be thankful for family, friends. Uh, Hopefully, you guys have been COVID free. Hopefully, everybody's been safe, and it'll be a little different this year with Thanksgiving due to the COVID crisis. However, hopefully, if you are getting together with family, you guys take the proper protocols and such, man. I'm going to do about 10 people. This is generally what we do anyway. Won't be anything crazy and, kind of one of them things. But lots to be thankful for, man. Thankful for you guys since starting out my videos, and thankful for the love and support you guys have given me so far. It's a great day, man. Love Thanksgiving, love football, love all the details that come into that. What better than turkey and food and all the desserts and things and football? Can't really get much better than that. Moving on, man. We've already had one game canceled. We kind of figured that with the Ravens continuing to have COVID issues, multiple people catching COVID. Had a few more Tuesday. And then this seemed like, with the short week, man, this seemed like the proper protocol to move that game. And they've moved that to Sunday. So we've got two games to worry about instead of three. Kind of sucks, but hey, man, that's just being proper and being protocol with the COVID, and you don't want anybody else catching COVID and having any complications with that. So that's probably the best call for the NFL to make with the teams as well. Um, Anywho, guys, like and subscribe if you hadn't done so already, man. Gaining slowly but surely more and more subscribers, as well as getting more and more followers on the vids, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for sharing the vids and liking and subscribing. Keep doing that, man. Let's just keep growing the channel and keep getting that DFS advice and strategies out there. But we're moving on, guys. We're going to talk about the two games tomorrow for our Thanksgiving slate. Obviously, first choice when we get to quarterbacks is going to be Deshaun Watson. Should be the highest owned quarterback on the slate for good reason. He's in a great matchup. Uh, Detroit is 17th against quarterbacks, 26th in the league overall as a team against defense total. Deshaun Watson has been excellent the past month. Has been on fire. Should continue to probably pretty much do the same. Um, and with this game, I don't see anything on the lines that's going to kind of slow him down. Um, with that being said, man, I don't know whether Matthew Stafford's going to be a go or not. They're still limited in practice. If he does play, which I do expect him to play, I know a lot of people are going to be off of him just because of the injury situation. I imagine his ownership will go up now that that game has been canceled for Pittsburgh and the Ravens. But I do like him tomorrow. I think he's in a great matchup as well. Even better matchup actually to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson just has that multitude with mobility that Stafford really doesn't have. We're still kind of waiting to hear the news on who the Lions will have available and all that kind of stuff. I try to wait to the day before because generally that'll give us an idea of who's going to be available or not, judging off practices, etc. But we just haven't gotten that news yet, unfortunately. On the other side, with the Dallas and Washington game, I do think both those quarterbacks are in play. Do like Alex Smith a little bit more than I do Dalton, just because Washington's defense is a lot better than Dallas's is. And this will be for first place in the NFC East, as ugly as it is. Somebody will get that tomorrow and see what happens towards the end of the season. But I think 4-7 is going to be the first place, which is kind of sad. But that's kind of the way it is in the NFC East this season. It's ugly, man, but somebody's going to be first with a 4-7 record, it sounds like. So, guys, something new to add to the channel. Draft Dashboard and myself have come together to provide you guys with a link in the description of the video. It's going to allow you guys to get and try the products for $1 for 30 days. Man, I've used Draft Dashboard for a long time. Helps you helps with the research, all in one place. Gives you projection, gives you the averages, gives you the last 3 games, gives you the targets for each position, and stats accrued for either site, primarily for DraftKings and FanDuel. Allows you to kind of go through researching who you're going to play each and every week. It also allows you to build up to 150 lineups that you can make and make it your own, and you can export those to those 2 sites to allow you to maximize your gameplay, maximize your winnings, etc. This is a great tool, man, and it's cheapest, one of the cheapest tools in the business. I strongly advise people to use this. I've used it for a very long time. I've been very successful with it, and I think it's a great tool to use for DFS players, new and old. Could be a beneficial draft dashboard tool to use, especially if you're play DFS a ton. And that is used for NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. They have articles as well. There's top players of the week, cheat sheets, sleeper studs, etc. And an excellent way to build your bankroll and help maximize your winnings. Guys, moving on to running backs. And as well, guys, you can find that draft dashboard link in my description of the video. That will be in the videos from here on out to use. And all you do is click that link, sign yourself up, and get that for $1 for 30 days. Moving on to running backs, guys, for tomorrow. I'm not sold on Zeke for tomorrow. He didn't do so well coming out against Washington last time out. Zeke has kind of been hit and miss. I know he had a nice matchup coming in on Sunday, and he did a little bit better. However, I feel like Zeke has lost a step a little bit, and I'm not sold on playing Zeke tomorrow. I think the way I'm going to play it this week is kind of pay down a little bit from running backs and pay up at receivers this week. I feel like that's the way to go this week. Speaking of that, with only 2 games, you're going to have to get a little bit different tomorrow to kind of separate yourself from the rest of the field. Ways you may be able to do that is that Antonio Gibson and McKenzie both have been pretty strong here lately. Antonio Gibson's more of the running back. For running, McKenzie's kind of that pass-catching back. A way to get different is playing both those guys in the same line. If you just to say the past 3 games, Gibson has had a 14, a 23, and a 17. McKenzie has had a 17, an 18, and a 10. It's pretty good projections tomorrow against a bad Dallas defense, and wouldn't be a bad idea to get different by playing both those guys in the same lineup. Just saying, to differentiate yourself from the rest of the field. A lot of people will play single players and not pair like running backs together. Wide receivers a little bit more than the running backs, but with this game setup and the way they use their running backs, I think that could be a nice setup to use tomorrow to differentiate yourself from the rest of the field. I'm still waiting on news from DeAndre Swift. If he does play, I like him tomorrow. If he doesn't play, I do like Kenyon Johnson a little bit more than I do Adrian Peterson. However, I think they're both in play. I'm going to lean a bit more with Kenyon Johnson because he's more of that pass-catching back. Going into that, saying I do have a little bit of love for Tony Pollard. He's been the better to me. He's been better of the 2 running backs, and could see him breaking one off. If Zeke is not playing well, they do not hesitate to put Tony Pollard in and let him have a few runs. So that's not out of the question to happen tomorrow. Just a way to get a little bit different. He won't be highly owned, so that'll be a way to kind of get different if you're playing like 20 lines or such tomorrow, to put a little Tony Pollard love in there and seeing what happens. With the Texans side, Duke Johnson should be in a great position tomorrow to have a successful game with pass catching and such tomorrow out of the backfield. I mean, Detroit is the bottom team in the NFL against running backs, number 32, as well as Swift and the boys, if he does play, will be against the Texans, which are 31st. The last 2 bottom teams in the league against the running back position. Should be feasting for running backs tomorrow if used the right way, depending on gameplay and who plays. Antonio Gibson practiced fully Tuesday, so he should be no problem to play. Kind of just waiting on that DeAndre Swift news, like a lot of other people are. He'll be highly owned if he does play. But Zeke is looking to be 51% owned. Great way to get away from that ownership, guys, like I was talking about, because if Zeke has a bad game, which Washington is not bad against the run. They're 11th in the league against the run. He had a bad game the first game against the Cowboys, or against the Redskins, or I'm sorry, Washington. Trying to get away from saying that. But he had a bad game against Washington the first go around. Could see that happening again. And kind of the Washington backfield. I could see Antonio Gibson and McKenzie both scoring more than Zeke tomorrow. So that'll be a way to differentiate yourself in the field tomorrow and get away. And just to think, 51% on Zeke, getting away from that just moves you right up the leaderboard to put you in better positions to cash and move you up the leaderboard to move you up in how much cash you're winning. So just things to think about tomorrow to help you get in a better position. That's pretty much it for running backs tomorrow. We're going to move on to wide receivers. Obviously, first guy on the list is Terry McLaurin. He had a great outing last time against Dallas. Should be in a good position. He was limited in practice Tuesday, but he should play. Another one of those tools you guys can use for draft board to kind of let you know right away what they're doing, when they practice, if they're going to go, full participant, etc. On draft dashboard. Two guys from the Texans, Will Fuller and Brandon Cook, should be in good positions tomorrow. Another guy to think about will be on the Texans side will be Cutie. I'm just going to shoot down the list here. I think he's really cheap. They've already rolled out Stills and Cobb for tomorrow. So with that being said, you're going to get Cutie at a $3,400 price on DraftKings. He'll most likely be like around the minimum on FanDuel. Great savings, guys, to get that for tomorrow to save you some salary. You could come down here and take a Cutie. You could also kind of going down here to these bottom guys. A guy like Steven Sims, guys like that you could kind of take down at the bottom there. Kind of waiting on the news to see if Kenny Galladay is going to play tomorrow. If he does play, we like him a lot. If he doesn't play, then obviously same old song and dance. We're going to go with Marvin Jones in a great matchup, as well as Marvin Hall. Still waiting on news to hear if Danny Amendola is going to play. If he plays, then obviously he did not practice, or he was limited, in practice. Kenny Galladay did not practice yesterday. So still kind of waiting on that news to see what happens with that. I love Amendola if he does play. He's just that great slot guy. He's going to be coming across the middle of the field. Should be in great position tomorrow. Also like Marvin Hall on the Detroit side. As far as the Texans, I mentioned Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and QT are my guys to go to on the wide receiver side. As far as Washington receivers, Terry McLaurin obviously on the list. I think another cheap guy that's coming back is Dontrell Inman. He should be out there ready to play. He looks healthy, like he'll play. He was a full participant in practice on Tuesday, so I imagine he'll get some reps. He's a big receiver, should get some targets. And then Steven Sims for Washington as well. Some other guys to mention for Detroit. If Galladay doesn't play, then you got like Cephas that could step in and play a little role as well tomorrow with Marvin Hall and all them guys. Should get some more targets. He's only 3,100. I'd prefer to kind of pay up for some of these other guys, kind of like Fuller, McLaurin, Jones, Cooks. Cooks is really not even going up in price. He's been exceptional the past month. 17, 10, and 13 last 3 games. Cutie caught a touchdown pass on Sunday. So he will get some looks. He's going to play that slot receiver role. I think so. Nice guy to pivot to and use at a cheap $3,400 price and a great matchup. On the Dallas side of things, kind of Amari Cooper, kind of stick a stab with CeeDee Lamb. He's still around that $5,400 price. And Michael Gallup is really cheap still at $3,500. And he's gotten some nice targets, 12, 7, and 5. He's going to be out there. He's one of their starting receivers. Should see some play tomorrow, and get plenty of opportunity at $3,500. He may be the best out of that crew. around that $3,500 prices. Another guy to mention that we may like tomorrow as well for Detroit is Jamal Agnew. If he plays, he got six targets last game. Pay attention to that injury news. He'll be one of those guys that see a bigger role if Kenny Galladay, etc., doesn't play tomorrow. But that's pretty much it for receivers, guys. Moving on to tight ends, Dalton Schultz, obviously, he's getting big targets for Dallas. He's only $3,800 for tomorrow, 8, 7, and 6. He's only going to be 9% owned. Looks like Jordan Atkins is right now getting most of that ownership. However, with that, remember that Ravens and Steelers game is going to postpone. So with that being postponed, that's going to elevate ownership to guys like Schultz, guys like Thomas, etc. Thomas did catch a touchdown pass in the game earlier against Dallas. So he will be a target tomorrow. I like 6 and 6 and 5. He's been a part of that Alex Smith kind of come over since they had the quarterback injury with Allen. Alex Smith is one of those guys who's going to check down a lot, pass to the tight end, pass to the running backs. That's just how he likes to play with the occasional shot downfield. Schultz in great position tomorrow. Love him. Love Thomas. Also like Atkins a whole lot tomorrow. TJ Hockenson should be a nice play tomorrow as well. I don't know. You can really not go wrong here at tight end tomorrow. Obviously, you could get a little bit different if you wanted to and go with the Fells to differentiate that ownership. He will be out there and get some reps. He plays 62% of the snaps at $2,700 price. I think if you want to get different tomorrow, you play a guy like Darren Fells. It's not unheard of that he won't come out there and run down the field and catch a touchdown pass. If that happens, then you separate yourself a long distance from the rest of the field. So just something to think about for tomorrow. As far as everything else, I think most of the rest of these guys you kind of just hang your hat on and kind of go with. Logan Thomas plays 88% of the snaps, so he gets most of the majority look there. So does Schultz. Atkins is playing 53% of the snaps, and Darren Fells is playing 62. So virtual they're playing about 50-50 between the two. So really you can't go wrong going with the Fells. I think Atkins is just a little bit more faster and such. But both of these guys will be on the field and have the eligibility to catch passes, touchdown passes, etc. I think that's it pretty much for tight ends. Schultz, Logan Thomas, Atkins, Hockenson, Fells, and you could also go, if you really want to get crazy, you could go with like a Jesse James at 47% of the snaps, or a Jeremy Sprinkle if you really want to get nuts for 18% of the snaps. So there's different ways to go, guys. It's going to be 2 games, so you want to give yourself flexibility to see different ways you can go tomorrow and kind of put some wild hair lineups out there, because this is what happens when you have a 1 or 2 game slate. Something weird happens. Generally, one of those guys you don't expect to catch a touchdown pass happens, and they're the ones in the million maker making $1 million, or other contests where they're coming up top and such. So this ways to get different. Obviously, with that Steelers and Ravens game, that limits your ability to defenses tomorrow. You're not going to have to pay up and pay a pricey amount for defense. I think for me, number one would be the Washington defense, just because they seem like the best matchup on paper tomorrow against the Dallas defense. I think all these teams will get scored on, but Andy Dalton could make some mistakes and put Washington in a good position, especially if they stop Zeke and expect Dalton to have to pass a lot to try to win that game. On the other side of that, my second defense is the Dallas Cowboys. Alex Smith's kind of same quarterback. We don't know how fragile he is. He could get wrapped up tomorrow, take a sack, get hurt, go out of the game. And then who are we looking at? Haskins or something like that come in the game would set up well for Dallas. So I think you could also go at a $900 discount and go to the Cowboys with the defense tomorrow. I do not think I'm going to play any Texans or Lions tomorrow unless Stafford doesn't play. If Stafford doesn't play, then obviously it changes my mind a little bit. But my third defense obviously would be the Texans, and lastly the Lions tomorrow. just looking at that, guys. But hey, that's my Thanksgiving slate, guys. Hey, remember, you can check in the description below the video. You can try Draft Dashboard for $1 for 30 days, guys. I strongly recommend it. I've used the tool for about 3 years now. Has really helped my game. Has helped me go to one place for all my research, majoritarily, and putting together strong lineups that help me win cash and do well in GPPs, as well as cash games, as well as playing DFS on DraftKings and FanDuel. Guys, any questions or things like that in comments, man, please list them below. I will get to them between today and tomorrow. As well, guys, I will also link my Twitter account if you guys can follow me over there if you're not doing so already. Remember, guys, like and subscribe to the video. That helps me out and also helps the channel grow, guys. Hey, guys, I wish you all a great Thanksgiving. I'm very thankful for you guys, and wish you all the best. Be safe out there for Thanksgiving Day. Try to ignore those family members if you see those ones that you don't see very often. We all have that one family member who's crazy as hell, who ain't got no sense, and we just kind of have to close our lips on every Thanksgiving and Christmas. But guys, be safe, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys for a first look video soon for Sunday's NFL games. Guys, have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.